You know, for a lot of watch lovers, the ultimate goal isn't having a massive collection. It's the hunt for the one. That single perfect timepiece that can handle pretty much anything life throws at you. That's the dream of the one watch collection.
I mean, just think about it for a second. What if you had one watch that looked totally at home at a business meeting, but also worked perfectly with a t-shirt and jeans on the weekend? A watch you could wear to pitch a client, and then, without even thinking about it, take on a weekend hike. Is that even possible?
Well, that's the big question, and it's something that connects everyone from die-hard collectors to people just getting into watches. We live in a world with so many choices, so the idea of finding that one watch that just simplifies everything, that's incredibly appealing.
And that search, that dream of the perfect all-arounder, has actually created a whole category of watches. It's not an official thing you'll see in a store display, but in the watch community, it's huge, and it goes by a simple, catchy acronym, GADA.
Okay, so let's get right into it. What exactly is a GADA watch? You hear that term thrown around all the time, but what does it really mean? Let's break down the core ideas, the actual features that make a watch a true go-anywhere, do-anything companion.
At its heart, it's pretty simple. A GADA watch is the ultimate jack of all trades. It's a watch that just never feels out of place, It's got enough style for a formal event, it's tough enough for everyday life, and it's capable enough for a spontaneous adventure.
So, what are the key ingredients? Well, first, it's got to have versatile looks. It has to work with anything. It needs to be built tough to handle daily bumps and scrapes. The display has to be super easy to read at a glance, no question. It also needs enough water resistance so you don't have to worry about a day at the pool. And maybe most importantly, it has to be so comfortable you almost forget you're wearing it.
Now here's the thing. You can't just walk into a watch shop and ask for the GADA section. It's not a formal category. Instead, these GADA watches almost always come from a few classic, proven designs, genres that just have versatility built right into their DNA.
And this is really interesting. If you look at what a lot of the cool, new, independent, and micro brands are making, it's almost all sports watches. And look at the top slices: everyday watches, dive watches, and field watches. That tells you there's a huge demand for watches that are tough, reliable, and can do a little bit of everything.
And it makes total sense, right? Field watches were born in the military, so they're designed to be legible and tough. Dive watches obviously have incredible water resistance and rugged cases, and sports watches in general are just made for an active lifestyle. These are the building blocks for a great GDA watch.
All right, so that's the theory. But what does this actually look like in practice? Let's check out a few real-world examples that experts and watch fans all agree just nail the GADA philosophy, and we'll see them at all different price points.
First up, we've got to talk about an absolute classic. This might be the best entry ticket to the Haga world, the Hamilton Khaki Field. I mean, its roots are directly in the military. It was designed from the ground up to be tough, easy to read, and super reliable. Just a perfect, no-nonsense daily driver.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The founder of monochrome watches, Frank Gielen, was asked what his go-to watch under 500 euros would be. His answer? The Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical. It's just proof that you can get a true GADA legend without having to spend a fortune.
Okay, next we're heading over to Japan for another legend, the Seiko Alpinist. This watch has such a cool history. It was actually Seiko's very first sports watch, made way back in the day for Japanese mountain climbers, the Yamatoko.
And you can just see its incredible journey here. From that first Laurel Alpinist back in 1959, it has evolved for over 60 years. Now, it's a star player in Seiko's Prospects line, and people just love it for that rugged style and build quality that feels like it should cost way more than it does.
Now, moving up to the higher end of things, we have what many people would call the definitive GADA watch, the Rolex Explorer. And this quote from Watch Time just says it all. The Explorer wasn't just built for climbing Everest, it was built to handle everything else, all the challenges of everyday life.
And then we have the Patek Philippe Nautilus. It's a Gerald Genta design, an absolute icon of luxury sports watches. On paper, it seems like the ultimate all-rounder. But this is where the GADA conversation gets really interesting and a little bit complicated.
So here's the thing. The dream of the Nautilus is that it's the perfect all-rounder. It's unbelievably thin, comfortable, and gorgeous. But the reality is, can you really do anything in a watch that costs that much and is seen as kind of fragile? Plus, it's missing some modern features like stop seconds or an adjustable clasp. And with its crazy price tag, it stops being a carefree companion and starts being a do only very specific and careful things watch.
So after looking at all of these, from a super accessible Hamilton all the way up to an aspirational Patek, one thing becomes crystal clear. The perfect GADA watch? Well, it's not a single answer. It's actually deeply personal.
See, the whole GADA concept is really more of a philosophy than a strict set of rules. Your anywhere might be an office, a garage, or a lecture hall. Your anything might be swimming laps, writing code, or going for a hike. The best GADA watch in the world is simply the one that fits seamlessly into your life.
So how do you find it? It's actually a pretty simple process. First, just be honest about your lifestyle. What do you actually do every week? Second, set a budget. There are amazing GADA watches at every price point. Third, start by exploring those 3 main types we talked about: field, dive, and sport watches. And finally, and this is crucial, you have to try it on. For an everyday watch, comfort is everything.
So I'll leave you with this one last question to think about. When you look at your own life, your own style, your own adventures, what would be your perfect go-anywhere, do-anything watch?